This is the PavoTube II 30C. It's the upgraded version of the very popular tube light line from Nanlite with a color temperature from 2700 all the way up to 7500 Kelvin, as well as a full spectrum of RGB colors and pre-programmed special lighting effects. Now it comes with integrated app connectivity and DMX RDM, about 20% increase in brightness and even better color rendition. So the question of course is this upgrade worth it? And to make it very clear, this video is not sponsored by Nanlite in any way or form. This is a rental unit, or those are rental units that I'll have to return after I've done the review. Alrighty, the new PavoTube II 30C is made of mainly polymer, making it a solid LED tube light, but I wouldn't advise anyone to use it for lightsaber fights or something like that. It's super lightweight, coming in at only 1.25 kilograms or 2.75 pounds and has a length of 117 centimeters or 46 inches. On the one end of the tube, you have all the physical control buttons, a mode button, a lock button, and two turning knobs to dial in the settings. Finally, you get a USB-C port that lets you charge the PavoTube and is used for firmware updates. It works with Power Delivery 3.0, which essentially means that you can charge the PavoTube with USB-C at, in theory, of up to 100 watts. On the other end, you will find the newly added DMX RDM control port and a 15 volts charging port for traditional charging. Apart from DMX/RDM, there's two main ways to control the PavoTube II 30C, with the physical knobs or the freely available Nanlink app. The onboard controls are very intuitive, and the two turning knobs, they're used to dial in different parameters on the small screen on the back of the tube. I like it a lot that both knobs have different haptic feedback. The one for dialing in values is buttery smooth, and the selection knob has a little click feedback to it. From a features perspective, the PavoTube II 30C offers the following modes. CCT, which is used for different light temperatures all the way from 2700 over tungsten to 7500 Kelvin. And you can also adjust for green and magenta color shifts from 0 to 150. That's a lot. In HSI mode, you can control the hue, saturation, and intensity of the RGB light. Pretty straightforward, and probably one of the main reasons to buy this tube light in the first place. In effects mode, you get access to 15 different effect presets that you can fine-tune to your liking. You know, like a police car, fire, or bad bulb. And in the final menu point, you can change the Bluetooth address of your PavoTube in case you use multiple lights, as well as DMX and 2.4 GHz wireless settings. This leads us to the next step, my favorite way of using multiple tubes, the Nanlink app. I've been using Nanlite lights for years and years, and the Nanlink app came out in, I think, October of 2021, and that was definitely much appreciated. In the beginning, it was a bit quirky and would sometimes lose connection, but I feel like Nanlite has improved this ability quite a bit. In order, to connect the tubes with your app, make sure Bluetooth is turned on, then you fire up the app and create a new scene. Inside of the scene, you can then connect the new fixtures, select them, and it will then connect them to the app. And from there on, you can dial in all kinds of settings that we mentioned before, and you can also create fixture groups, which I currently have here. Look. Oh, that's pretty cool. Now, Nanlite claimed to have high color accuracy and light quality. When I measured the light with my trusted Sekonic C800, I got quite decent values, both in daylight and tungsten. The PavoTube II 30C is color accurate enough for pretty much almost any application you could come up with. The CRI values are good, SSI values are as well, and in the TM30 tests, the values don't miss the ideal circle by a lot. When it comes to output, these tubes are quite bright. Of course, they are not at the level of the higher-end PavoTube II X series, but let's be honest, that was to be expected. The battery runtime at 100% daylight brightness is an impressive 2.5 hours, which is pretty much what Nanlite actually claims. So you might ask yourself, is it worth upgrading? Let's see. There are quite a few updates from the old to the new version of the PavoTube 30C. From a physical perspective, the new version has slightly shorter end caps. That's great news because you'll basically get more tube light, and if you have the PavoTube II 30C in frame, it looks a bit slicker than its predecessor. The new version has an innovative diffusion material that obscures the different signal LED chips on the tube. And that's actually quite big, because now the whole tube looks like a unified light source, even at lower output, whereas with the old version, you could sometimes, see single LED chips. Also, the control knobs have been moved to one side, and the interface is more minimalistic and cleaner on the version 2, and the OLED screen is also a bit bigger. That being said, I kinda like the slightly faster access on the old version, where you'd press one button and you could immediately switch from, let's say daylight to RGB and back. The bigger news though are the added connectivity with Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and DMX RDM and the higher output. I've already covered connectivity with, the Nanlink app. Now about the brightness increase. There is definitely an increase there, that is for sure. However, my measurements, they didn't show an increase as high as the claimed 20%, but I would say it's visible. This shot was taken with a PavoTube II as a key light, and here you have the same shot with the same settings with the new PavoTube version. Now you can judge for yourself. To come to a conclusion, the upgrades all make a lot of sense and are sort of refining an already great product in my opinion. With the new coating, these tubes look a lot prettier in frame even at lower output than before. App connectivity is more than just welcome. Especially if you have multiple tubes or a setup with, a bunch of lights from the Nanlite ecosystem like I have. Power Delivery 3.0 is great, and if I'm not mistaken, the PavoTube II 30C is also the only tube light in its category that allows you to adjust green and magenta shifts while using the CCT mode. Great stuff. The price is also fair in my opinion for what you get, and the discount on both the 2-kit and the 4-kit option is a pretty sweet deal right from the get-go. So if you're in the market for high quality tube lights with a reasonable price tag, I think this is your current best option. I'm not sure if this is gonna look great, who cares. If you like this video, it would mean a lot to me if you liked, subscribed and left a comment down below what you think about the upgrade from the new PavoTube II 30C over its predecessor. Until then guys, keep creating and I will see you in the next video. How do I do this? I don't know. Cut!